Hello and welcome to another enthralling episode of Mickey D's Tasks for Unit 19 Digital Graphics. So this one's all about image compression, lossy and lossless compression and different file types as well. So here we go. What is image compression? Compression is used to reduce the file size of images and change various attributes of an image file. For example, these attributes would be the file type, JPEG, PNG or bitmap, the resolution, the size of it on screen, the dimensions, and the bit depth. An image can be reduced in size by using lossy or lossless image compression. So JPEG uses lossy image compression. When you use an image editing program such as Photoshop, you have a choice when you go to File to Save As of what type of compression you want to use. And one of these is JPEG, which stands for Joint Photographic Experts Group. It is a standard image format for containing lossy and compressed image data. Despite the huge reduction in file size, JPEG images maintain reasonable image quality. This unique comprehension feature allows JPEG files to be used widely on the internet, computers, and mobile devices. Every photo you take using a phone or your digital camera is a JPEG. Most every detailed image you see online, such as a photograph on a website, is most probably a JPEG. The sharing of JPEG images is quick and efficient, as I'm sure you already know as you upload them to Instagram and Facebook. Also, a large number of JPEG image files can be stored on your device without taking up a lot of space. So JPEG is .jpeg, but it can also be .jpeg. It's exactly the same thing. With a JPEG, you can have photographic quality. It's a good file type for photographs that you want to display online, as it has nearly 16 million different colors available to choose from, which will produce a great detailed photograph or image. It uses lossy compression to achieve this, make the file size small. Once you choose to save an image as a JPEG, you're choosing lossy compression, and you will lose quality and information, such as some of those pixels that you never get back. So if you take an image there, image somebody wearing a green shirt and they've got on a red hat, well, what a JPEG will do is remove some of the yellow pixels, remove some of the red pixels, but when you look at it on the screen, it looks exactly the same. But when the computer opens it back up, it doesn't have as much information to remember, so the file size is smaller. So choosing a JPEG is a good trade-off between the quality of an image and the file size of the image. So you might reduce the quality, but the file size will be smaller. If you have an image with a file size of 10 megabytes, you can compress it using JPEG so that the file size will reduce to 1 megabyte or even 500 kilobytes. That's 9 megabytes or 9.5 megabytes of information that is now gone forever, but the image will still look good on a computer screen, and the file size is a tenth or a 20th of what it used to be. It frees up a lot of space on your computer. A JPEG's file size can be reduced by 20 times smaller than the original. So if it was 20 megabytes big and you save it as a JPEG, you can reduce the file size down to 1 megabyte. Transparency. So there's a couple of photos here of Miss McHenry from the St. Louisa's website. The top one has a transparent background. The bottom one has a white background, and that's because I saved it as a JPEG. So one thing JPEG will not give you is transparency. You can't have any transparent background or anything in a JPEG, and that is a slight disadvantage. So JPEG means you're using lossy compression. Go to File, go to Save As, choose a JPEG, you're using lossy compression. It's called lossy compression as some of the little pixels will be removed from the image and you will never be able to get them back again. So because the computer's removed those information, that data, those pixels, it has less information to remember when you reopen it, and the file size will be smaller. So it'll upload onto a screen quicker and it'll download quicker onto your screen or your device. Now, you can't ever get the information that was removed back again. It's lossy, you've lost it. It will look good on a computer screen, but not so good if you print it out. Now, I've put a little link on here, a video, it's about 1.5 minutes long. Have a look at it. It's a good explanation. Then we have another file type if you want a file and save as, and you chose GIF, GIF. So you shouldn't choose a GIF if you want to save a photo as a GIF can only have 256 colors in it. So 256 colors available, 16 million colors available in a JPEG. If it's a photograph, you're better saving it as a JPEG. A GIF, however, is a good choice for a logo, but not a photo, as a logo has less colors in it compared to a photograph. A GIF can, however, give you a transparent background. A JPEG can't. GIF uses lossless compression to save an image, so you don't lose any information or quality like you do when you save a JPEG. When Miss McHenry's photo is saved as a GIF here, you can see the difference. As there are only 256 colours available to a GIF, it looks more like a cartoon than a photo. Now look, click on our photo on this slide, make it bigger, you see the difference. A GIF type file is usually small as it has so few colours when compared to a JPEG. Sorry about that. When should you save an image as a GIF? Well, I would say that if you had a logo or a cartoony-like image, such as a logo, then save it as a GIF. Now, a GIF can also be used to create short animated images, like flashing a special offer or something that you want users to draw attention to on your website, like prices slashed today, something like that there. Then you could save it as a GIF and it would be animated. You can't do that with a JPEG or the other file types that we're talking about. Now we're on to PNG files. PNG stands for Portable Network Graphics, and it's also like a GIF, it's lossless image file type. So JPEG's lossy, GIF's lossless, PNG's lossless. Lossless means you don't lose any information. With a PNG, you can still have photographic quality. Just like a JPEG, it's a good file type for photographs, as it also has nearly 16 million colors available, which will produce a great detailed photo or an image. It uses lossless compression. Once you choose to save an image as a PNG, by just going File and Save as, well, a JPEG, GIF for a PNG, I'll take a PNG. So when should you choose to save a PNG file instead of a JPEG? Well, I would say that if you want to have some transparency and a good quality image, then save it as a PNG. If you don't need any transparency for the image, then save it as a JPEG, because it'll make the file size smaller again. So the image in the top of this slide here is a JPEG. The one at the bottom is a .png. They look exactly the same. They both have 16 million colors available. The file size of the JPEG at the top, however, is only 27 kilobytes, while the PNG at the bottom is 92 kilobytes. Therefore, the PNG image is going to take up more storage space on your phone or computer. The JPEG and the .png files both have the same quality to your eyes if you're looking at them on a computer screen or a mobile phone screen. So if I didn't need any transparency in an image, I was going to upload it onto the web, I'd save it as a JPEG, the quality's good. If I did need some areas in it to be transparent, like maybe I want a transparent background or something, that image, then I'd have a trade-off and say, okay, I'll save it as a PNG. I know the file size is going to be bigger, but I need that transparency in it. If you're reviewing a website and you only had 4G available, it would take longer for the .png images to appear than it would for the JPEG images, because the JPEGs have a smaller file size, which means they load onto your phone or your computer or tablet screen faster than a PNG file, because a PNG file is a larger file size. So .png means you're using lossless compression. Lossless compression means that as the file size is compressed, the picture quality remains the same. It doesn't get any worse like it does in a JPEG. Also, the file can be decompressed. When you open it up again, you're decompressing it and it comes back to its original quality. Nothing is lost. Lossless compression uses different techniques so that when it is saved, it is reduced in size on your computer, but when you open it up again, you haven't lost any information. This means the image will always look the same, as none of the information has been removed. So then we move on to .bmp or bitmap images. So a bitmap image, the file size is huge. When I saved Miss McHenry's image as a JPEG, it had a file size 27 kilobytes. When I chose to save it as a PNG using lossless compression, it had a file size 92 kilobytes. Both these file sizes are acceptable or are very acceptable for an image that's going to be displayed online. But when I took the same image and saved it as a .bmp, a bitmap, it had a file size of 448 kilobytes, which is too big, too large a file size to be viewed online, as it would take quite a while to load onto your device, and it would also take up more of your precious storage device if you saved it. It doesn't really have any compression. It isn't really used anymore. It's a file type that was produced by Microsoft a long time ago. It does produce a really good quality image, but the file size is massive. When would I choose to save something as a bitmap? Probably never. Then we move on to .tiff or TIFF images. So TIFF is the best for any images that you intend to edit or to work on or to print. TIFF files don't compress to make for smaller file sizes because they aren't meant to preserve quality and reduce the file size. They offer options to use such as tags, layers, and transparency, and are compatible with photo manipulation programs like Photoshop. If you're looking for a small file or a web-friendly format, then you wouldn't use TIFF. But if you plan to edit the images and print out a lovely, beautiful photograph, then you don't care about the file size, then you probably want to save it as a TIFF. So TIFF files are very large and will probably only be used by a photographer for images that aren't going to appear online, but they're only going to be printed. The only time I would choose to save anything as a TIFF file, a TIFF image file, is if I wanted a really nice photograph that I was going to print out and I had lots of storage space to save. So why do you choose GIF, JPEG and PNG? The reason you would choose any above image formats for use in the World Wide Web is because they will reduce the file size while they also keep the quality of the image well, as long as they're only going to be viewed on a computer or a phone screen. So remember, if you print them out, they're not going to look as good as they look on a computer screen. You choose each one depending on what you want the user to see. For a really good quality photograph that doesn't need transparency in it, but you want a small file size, then choose JPEG. A really good photograph that you need some parts of it to be transparent and it's going to be online, then be a PNG. If it was a logo or an animated image or a cartoon-like image with few colors, then it would be a GIF. So you've got until Friday to do this. Don't copy and paste, kids. And remember, we're talking about images, images, images. Don't talk about compression in video files or talk about compression in sound files. It's just images. Thanks very much.